back again, so there'll be less waffle, more action this week. So, people who were here last week all had homework. Yes. Have we done it?
Yes.
What a great class. Liars. But if you haven't, and people who weren't here last week, we were talking about character design. And to have a design that you can then make from. And between us as a group last week, there was ideas for this weird kind of crocodile type character. You could also do with a view of it from the side, which I have drawn from my homework somewhere. Okay? Because otherwise, the danger is if you just have a front view and go to make from that, you can end up with things looking a little bit flat. Okay? And your finished piece is going to be sculptural, so it really has to work in 360 degrees. Okay? So, the stuff we're going to use, it's great to see people have come really armed for the elements here. And people have brought sheets and paper, gloves, protective equipment. You're not going to need it. You're really not going to need it. The stuff we're going to use is this stuff, which is Model Magic. Okay? So, I know I showed some characters last week. I brought some different ones to show you this week, because these are more kind of full characters. So, this was a character. This character's got a great name. It's called Beep. It's called Beep the Meep. And I started off by scrunching up a ball of bubble wrap kind of packing material, and then I built this around it. So this is that's around it. Okay. And it has one or two little bits that can be slightly animated. So there's things on this, like, for example, the hands will move, and he can kind of shake his gun a little bit. And he's really light. The only thing in this that isn't Model Magic is the eyelashes. And I was kind of puzzling over what to make them out of. And I was opening a bottle of milk, and I thought, do you know what? That ring pull thing on the bottle of milk, that'll do just great. So I just cut them out and stuck them in. Because this material will hold other materials really well. So once you've modelled your thing today, like with this fish that you're looking at here, Carol, if there's stuff, say for example you wanted to give the fish, say, plastic scales, if you cut bits of plastic and inserted it into this, you wouldn't need to glue it into this. You could just insert it in and it would stay. Which was from Return of the Jedi, which was a little Ewok.
Oh.
Which I thought is great to just sort of show about texture with this, and also about different kinds of contrasting textures that you can get with this. Okay? So with things like the fur, I'll show you how we can make the fur. Okay? You can cut into this, you can score into this material and get a nice kind of fur type texture. Okay. So, the actual toys for you, we've got... Did you bring any, Janet? Did you bring any of the stuff? You know, the stuff to make? You've not brought any? I thought you... Oh, was it Philip was bringing it? No, listen, we've exhausted that act. We can't do it. So, it is here. Now, whether there's enough of this stuff, I don't know. You can fight about this yourselves. You're adult, civilised people. You can do this. So, when you get this stuff, once it's out of this, basically it's going to start to set. Okay, but that's fine because you've got 2 days to work with it. So, if you get so far with this and you haven't finished, as long as you keep this airtight, that's fine. It'll still be good to go. In fact, even when it's set, that's still got a little bit of a squish to it. Okay. So when you get out, it's got a really nice. Adam, have a squish. See what you think.
Oh, it's a good workout,
isn't it? Do you know one of the first times I used this was it was with the Whitworth Art Gallery, and they were sponsored by Crayola, and this stuff was made by Crayola, and Crayola dumped loads of stuff on them, crayons and lots of bits, and all of this stuff wasn't getting used, and I thought I'm gonna have a play with this, and we used it with a project with Manchester Children's Hospital. And it was for children who had broken fingers, broken wrists, broken arms, and it was a physio. But they didn't know it was a physio. They just thought it was a nice thing to play with. But it's got a really marshmallowy kind of a feel. And when you get yours, the best thing to do with it is, and I think this applies right across the board with any art, is play with it. Yeah, just be really playful with it, mess about with it, see how long you can get it to stretch. And the more you play with this, the softer it'll become and the more pliable it'll become. And the easier it will be to model with. Okay, but it's not messy. It won't stick into anything. If you do it on the plastic, I've warned you about this plastic. 'Cause it'll stick to that. It'll be a nuisance. You're better off on the table. But if you wanted to make a figure with this, if I just quickly show you how to put a figure together. If it was, say, a figure like the Ewok there with head, body, 2 arms, 2 legs. If you kind of roughly break this into a head, a body, a couple of arms, a couple of legs. So you get your head bit and you think, well, okay, this head's going to have hair, it's going to have teeth, have a nose, so I'll pull a bit off to do that. But to model that head shape, I mean, in your hands you have a natural round shape anyway, okay? But this is why it's good to use these tables, because apart from rolling this in the middle of your hands, what you could do is, if you keep your hand really straight, just roll this on the table. You'll get a nice, smooth, rounded shape then, okay? I'm just going to make the end of that a bit more pointy, so it's a bit more egg-shaped, okay? And then, if it's, say, a face, you need to be, excuse me, I'm going to pinch your tools. You need to be a bit brutal here, okay? You don't want to stick a mouth on, because mouths aren't stuck on. Your jaw fits into your skull, okay? So the mouth's got to go in. So when you're handling this, handle with care, because what you don't want to do is to hold it and flatten the back of the head. So you kind of curve your hand when you're holding this. And then if you get your scissors and kind of do a bit of drastic plastic and cut a bit of a mouth into there. So you can model a mouth shape in there, okay?
It looks just like you. It does, doesn't it?
Do the same thing for us.
Well, for eyes, what you would do is you need sockets, because again, eyes are set in sockets. So if you get even easier, hey, this is something you've got, one of them. You put your sockets in there like that, and like that. Okay. If you want to add a nose, you could make a nose and stick it on, because it'll stick to itself. Or you could pinch and pull a nose shape. Glad you're sat there.
Thank you. And do you top
What do you think, bigger or smaller?
Don't answer that.
The too polite to say.
No.
You can then, with that great old modelling tool with the pencil, you can stick that up the nose and make the nostrils in there. Okay. You can use the other bit at the end of the pencil and make that philtrum. If it's things like details in the mouth, okay. What I did with the Ewok, and with Beat really, I made them a bit like a kit. So when there are details to paint inside the mouth, I made the jaw separately. Okay, so then it would dry and I could glue it together afterwards. Okay. But to add things into the mouth, I mean, really, the key idea is to start at the back of the mouth. So if you're adding something like a tongue, if you get a small shape, and just kind of flatten that down. And again, modelling tools are great, but scissors are honestly just as good for this, so that we can kind of just put a tongue line along the end of there, like that, and fit the tongue into there.
That's great.
Thank you.
Just pulling tongue.
I'll pay you later. Okay. Again, if you wanted to age a character up, if you use the scissors, you could kind of get those kind of lines in at the side of the face there. You could get kind of creases in the brow, and a few little crow's feet around the eyes. Okay. It will be, when you've made your model, it will be ever so slightly kind of floppy until it dries. But I would remember that when you get it home, the position that you leave it in to dry, that's how it will set. Okay? But yeah, paint them black first of all, and then what the black does is it basically highlights every detail on your model. And then when you paint further from there, then that allows you to decide which details you want to obscure, which ones you want to highlight. Okay. If you're not happy with the lines there, you can blend them in further by just very gently rubbing them. If that's not satisfying enough, if you have a little bit of water, not a lot of water, but just a little bit of water and smooth that in. And if it goes wrong, all you do is you just squish it. It's also really good, this material, for tension. It makes me feel really tense. No. It's good. It's great for getting rid of tension. It has that kind of stress ball kind of quality. But seriously, do have a play with it first of all before you get into, because once you have a play with this, and then you'll work out very quickly what you can and can't do with this. It lends itself very, very well to organic forms, I think. I think it lends itself less well to things like, you know, cars and machines and robots, and, you know, I wouldn't use this for those. If you need more of this stuff, you can buy this. You'll find this on Amazon. You can buy this in colour. So if you order a colour pack, it comes in the primary colours and white. I don't think the colour one's quite as nice, really. The chemical dye they've put in for the colour makes it a little bit slimy. You can also get it in terracotta, so it's quite nice for tiles, really. You could do some tile designs with this. How's it going? Wow.
This is our
A friend of mine used to do clay workshops, proper clay workshops. Not that this isn't proper, for children. I used to do events and things. And he used to send them home with their clay things on a piece of cardboard with a little slip saying, you can bake these in the oven at home, but take the cardboard out. And the number of complaints he got from that, I had a fire in our oven, kids were burning cardboard. And yeah, really just to say thanks for asking me in the first place, and thanks for asking me back. Oh, thanks for the glue. And it's been really lovely just to see the whole range of different things that people have come up with today, and how engrossed people have been with doing that. I know we were playing around with a bit of animation over in the corner there, which worked really nicely. So if you do get the chance to have a look at Stop Motion Studio, the warning is it's really addictive. If you start to do some of that animation stuff, that's your night gone, because you will just really get into it, and you can create a whole world that's yours to play with then.